Let's answer your questions about Ramadan. What is Ramadan? It's the 9th and holiest month in the Islamic lunar calendar. It was during this month that Allah revealed the first verses of the Quran to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ on Laylatul Qadr, also known as the Night of Power. Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset for 30 days, but it's more than just not eating and drinking. You also abstain from sinning, so that means no cursing, avoiding anger, holding grudges, sexual activity, smoking, and cursing. It's a month of spiritual and physical cleansing. Why do you fast? It strengthens our relationship with Allah, our Creator, and it reminds us of what all we have to be grateful for. It helps us practice patience and empathy and become the best possible humans we can be, forgiving others and letting go of any grudges we've had in the past. It's a beautiful month, but of course it comes with some struggle. Is it hard to fast? Yes, of course. If it was easy, it wouldn't be a sacrifice. It's meant to strengthen our faith, but also teach us what it's like for people who don't have the basic needs that we do. It teaches us empathy, so we're more willing to help them. Is it the same time every year? No. It changes about 11 days because we go by the lunar calendar instead of the solar Gregorian calendar, so it's a little bit shorter. For years, it'll be in the summer, and then all of a sudden, it'll be in the winter, which is what we all want because it's nice and cool and the days are shorter. But it takes a very long time to get back to the winter. Right now, it's been in the summer forever, and we're slowly inching up. If I encounter somebody who's fasting during Ramadan, that's awesome a good reply? Honestly, any positive acknowledgement is great, but if you want something a little bit more appropriate, you could say Happy Ramadan, or Ramadan Kareem, or Ramadan Mubarak. Can you chew gum? No, can't do it. Does everyone have to fast, including pregnant women, toddlers, children, people with diabetes? No. While this is meant to be difficult, it's not meant to hurt you or cause you any harm. You don't start fasting until you hit puberty. So little kids, toddlers, babies obviously don't fast. Now, a lot of kids do want to try fasting because they want to be like the rest of their family, their big brothers and sisters. So some parents will let their younger kids fast as long as they want to, and then when they get hungry and they want to quit, they can. So like they can do it in the morning and then have lunch. Also, if you're sick, you should not be fasting. So if you're vomiting or you have diarrhea or anything that's causing you to lose fluids, stop fasting. That is dangerous and not a good idea. If you are pregnant, you should not be fasting either because you need to give your baby nutrients and it's just not safe. Also, if you're on your period, you're not supposed to be fasting, you need to hydrate. Now, for those situations where you're just temporarily not able to fast, whether it's your period or you're pregnant or you're sick for just a couple days, you need to make up those days before the next Ramadan. But if you have a chronic illness such as diabetes or kidney stones or anything like that where you can never fast because it's too dangerous, you have to take medications, stuff like that, then you donate money instead of fasting. Basically, you want to donate money to help feed the less fortunate since you are unable to fast. You should be donating money this entire time, but if you can't fast, you donate a little bit more. That way you can give money for food for the people who don't have it. It is a challenge, but it's not meant to hurt you. How hard is it to travel between time zones when you're fasting? You actually don't have to fast while you're traveling. If it's a long distance, if you're just driving an hour or two, then fast. But like if you're going on a plane or you're going on a long train ride or whatever, you don't have to fast because it is hard to fast while traveling. Now, you do have to make up those days later before the next Ramadan. What are some traditional things you do during Ramadan? Well, that depends entirely on your family and the country you're in and just kind of what you feel like doing every year. Some people like to go to the masjid every single night for Tarweeh, which is where they go through the entire Quran, the entire month of Ramadan. They start it and end it at the very end. People like to go there every night. It is several hours though into the night, and for people who work the next morning like myself, I'm not able to do that. But a lot of people like to. Some people like to have iftar potlucks with their family members or their friends or their local communities. For us, we like to go out to eat for suhoor once. So usually we would go to IHOP, but they've changed because of COVID and they're no longer open. So we got food from Denny's the other night. Not quite the same, but it is fun because every single time we go out for suhoor, every single year, we only do it once a year, but every time there are other Muslims there. And it's great to see them partaking in a tradition that we do every year as well. What if you accidentally eat or drink? Honestly, it happens. You're really, really tired and you're cooking dinner and you go to taste something and then you immediately are like, what am I doing? It's totally fine. As long as you didn't do it intentionally, you just stop. Don't eat anymore, don't drink anymore, just stop and then keep going and you're fine. As long as it wasn't on purpose, it's fine. Are there any foods you have to avoid? Well, generally we don't eat pork or anything that has alcohol in it and that stands all times, not only during Ramadan, but during Ramadan you want to try to eat foods that are rich in water. So if you can have fruits like watermelon or cantaloupe, eating like tomatoes or cucumbers, stuff like that. You want to try to avoid caffeine because that'll dehydrate you even more because you're not getting enough water in during the day. And you also want to avoid fried foods because those aren't really good for your health either during Ramadan. Of course, not everyone avoids these foods, they eat whatever they want, but these are just some common things that they suggest you should try to avoid. That way you can stay hydrated and feel okay and energized the entire day. What are some traditional foods? That depends on what country you're from. For me personally, I am from Jordan, so when I'm home, we will usually break our fast with a soup and a salad, which is fattoush, or adas, which is a lentil soup, or frika, which is also another like type of grain. And then we'll have our main dish, which might be mansaf, magluba, wara einab, kusamashi, which are rice dishes, and then like stuffed grape leaves, stuffed zucchini, honestly whatever. And then we always have dessert. During Ramadan, it's qataif, which is a little pancake that's filled with either jibna, cheese, or joz, nuts. Specifically, I think it's walnuts, and then there's a simple syrup on top, and they are so good. I haven't had them in so many years. I tried making one the other day. It was a complete failure, but oh, it's my favorite. That's what we do anyway, traditionally. Other people might do other foods. It kind of depends what country you're in, what your family decides to make. Do people lose weight during Ramadan? You would think, right? But no, it's the complete opposite. Most people gain weight because they don't do as much physical activity during the day because they're fasting. And then at night, they have a massive feast with sweets and fried foods and like all these things that are really heavy and cause you to gain weight. Now you can totally lose weight during Ramadan if you really want to. I've actually lost 5 pounds this year. Not by like trying, just because I'm getting full really easily and I just stop eating. But if you do want to lose weight, you need to do some light activity during the day. Very, very light. Just go for a little walk like right before you break your fast, or do it in the morning before you do suhoor. And then the key is you break your fast with your date and water and like something light like super salad, and then immediately leave the table, go pray maghrib, and then come back, and your stomach will be a little bit full at that point and you won't feel like binging. So then you can just eat and know when to stop. But it's easier said than done. It's kind of hard to do because you haven't eaten all day and you see all this food and you want to eat all of it. It's really disappointing when you eat a little bit and then you're like full and you're like, ah. But it's amazing though. It teaches you that you really don't need that much. And honestly, just basic food, something simple, is enough. You can go the entire day without eating, eat a little simple something, even a PB&J for that matter, and be full and content. But a lot of people put a lot of pressure on the food, and it's just not always necessary. Obviously, you want to enjoy your food, but anything after not eating is great. And that's the whole purpose of this, is to teach you that if you have anything on your table, it's more than enough. Is there a big party when it's over? Yes, we have Eid al-Fitr. It is one of our 2 Eids. We have another one, Eid al-Adha, which is a few months later. But this one is celebrating the end of Ramadan. And it is the first time that we are allowed to eat during sunlight after fasting for 30 days. You're actually not allowed to fast on that day. It's also determined by the sighting of the moon, like the very first day of Ramadan is. So when I have to ask off for work, I have to say, it's either this day or this day. I won't know until the day before. And luckily my work has been pretty chill with it, but it is a weird request for people who don't quite understand why I don't know the exact date of my holiday. We're encouraged to get new clothes for the occasion. We go to the masjid and we pray in the morning, and the head of your household needs to pay what is called zakat al-fitr before prayer. It is a donation that they give on behalf of every member of your household. And it's meant to give money to the people who don't have the means to celebrate this holiday so that they can enjoy it as much as everybody else. Now this is less and separate from the regular zakat that we give during Ramadan, which is about 2.5% of your wealth. The rest of the day is spent visiting friends and family, visiting the graves of your loved ones who have passed, eating, drinking, and just having a lot of fun. It's a day to remind us what all we have to be grateful for. And this wouldn't be a Ramadan Q&A without the #1 question that every Muslim hears from non-Muslims during the month of Ramadan. Not even water? Nope. Not even water. This is such a common question, they make t-shirts, but no, we are not allowed to drink water from sunrise to sunset during the entire month. And it is very, very challenging, especially if you live in a hot climate and you need to be outside. I used to have to fast while playing sports and not be able to drink water. It was hard. I honestly don't know how I did it. There's a lot of professional athletes that play while fasting. I have no clue how they do it, but it's amazing. But no, not even water. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I answered all your questions, and if I didn't, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll try to answer them for you. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!